60 some degrees. It was crazy. And the bridge went up for an oil tanker to go through it. So again, an intersection of a lot of things that are tied together. And this Trans-Pacific Partnership is a huge risk to all of us, to the environment, to our health. The reality is, with the support of many of you here, and it doesn't, again, from that day I said, just so there's more than just me. So it may feel frustrating that this parking lot is not full, but there is more than just us who are taking this on. And as suggested, get home, spread the word, put it on Facebook, fill out those petitions, call. It makes a difference. These legislators say all the time they don't get calls. And when they get 5 calls, that catches their attention. When they get 10, they're really paying attention and may make a decision that goes in our favor. So make those calls. They really do count. In South Portland, with the support of many, including, again, many of you here, we passed a clean air ordinance that has kept tar sands from coming into the state. It was hundreds and thousands of hours of work to make that happen on a very powerful grassroots level, and this will completely negate that. When that Trans-Pacific Partnership comes through, whatever local people think is important just can be completely negated. Do not let that happen. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Julie Pease. I'm a physician, and I'm here also representing the heart of what remains of Occupy Bath Brunswick. The other part of the heart is sitting there on the bench, listening. I've been following the TPP for some time. I've been to a few talks that former Representative Sharon Treat has given on the TPP and learned a lot from her. And my number one concern, of course, is Maine and jobs and the manufacturing industry. But this is about a lot more than shoes. And I am afraid, just like Sharon Treat is, that Susan Collins may vote against fast track and then say, well, we fixed the part of the TPP that deals with manufacturing in Maine, so therefore we can support it now and it's a good deal. But it is a bad deal all around. My concern regarding health is because all of our environmental regulations, Bob talked about all the work that went into getting South Portland to become a citizen-friendly town, would be able to be trumped by corporations and lawsuits. An example, I just went to the Expose the TPP website for information about health, and one example related to NAFTA and Canada. Eli Lilly, which is a giant international pharmaceutical company, developed a couple of very good drugs. They're now off patent, so that means that Eli Lilly has a threat to their profits, and they are demanding $100 million from the Canadian government because they don't like the rules that Canada has imposed on generic drugs similar to those that Eli Lilly makes. And this kind of thing would happen around the world, that life-saving medicines would become only available to those who could afford them. And that's just one of the examples. Tobacco companies would be suing governments around the world who tried to pass regulations telling people about the dangers of tobacco. And the list goes on and on and on. So we need to not only stop fast track, but after we've stopped fast track, we need to keep the pressure on our senators and our representatives to flush the TPP altogether. Thank you.
And yes, we have someone else who'd like to come on up.
Hi, my name is Alan Clemens. I live in Charleston, which is in Knobscott County. I agree wholeheartedly with everyone saying about trade agreements in general and TPP and the provisions of them. I just want to speak very briefly about the secrecy involved with it. And as many people have said, it was negotiated in secret. And I suppose in some ways that's understandable. What is an absolute outrage is that it's going to be voted on without public knowledge. I mean, that it's just bizarre in some ways, and I think we need to really, all of us, take some steps when we're communicating with our senators and our representatives to really, point out that, you can't vote on something that we don't know what it is. I mean, we need to that basic level of openness and democracy needs to be really brought out to the forefront. One of my suggestions also is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through my entire email list, and I often send many things to many people, but I'm actually going to send something to people that aren't really political, and I don't really care if they don't want to hear it or not, but I really want to foster the outrage that should be accompanying this huge issue that is being kept from us. What does that document contain? What does it contain? And so I think in Maine, Bruce Poliquin, I think in some ways he's certainly susceptible, or that's not quite the word I want, vulnerable or something, but to the pressure from really holding his feet to the fire. He's a freshman representative, he's new, there's every indication that he'll want to continue in that line of work for a while, and we should threaten that. I mean, really threaten that. King and Collins both, there's no guarantee that they ever will be up for re-election again. We don't know. They might not. But I think with Senator Collins, we should really question her. We should call her staff, call her offices, all of them maybe, and say, ask the question: is this what the senator's legacy wants to be? Passing a secret agreement, and I just think we should really highlight that along with all the other actual provisions of it. So, thank you so much.
When I started looking at the weather for today, it said 3 o'clock were going to be showers, and I thought, oh no. Then they moved it up a little bit and a little bit more, but it looks like they're heading in. I would like to say, if there's anybody else who'd like to speak? Yes, okay. But we're going to, if we get showered on, we could go in front of the labor mural, which is right over here in the library, and they're open today, so just keep that in mind. This is Peter.
Hi, Peter Baldwin. I just like to say ditto for everything that everyone has said, but I'd also like to
Continue the whole time.
I'd also like to say we should be proactive and be go on the offense. What I mean by that is the TPP is about consumer items. We don't need any more consumer items. Consumer items are what is clogging the earth. We're chewing up and spitting out the earth by having too much manufactured items. Bottom line with jobs is that we can create jobs locally, regionally. Take a look at what are the essential things that you need to live on. Create cottage industries and start supplying them for your friends and neighbors, and that would eliminate the whole thing.
I see, Diane Messer, you've had some adventures with this. Can you say a few words about environment, mostly?
Good afternoon, intrepid protesters. Thank you for being here. This is energizing. Small but powerful. We carry a mighty voice. And I say we should go to the offices of our local legislators and pack them every day, to try to do it on a rotation shift. Be in there every day, as many of us as we can, and tell them no to fast track and TPP both. One of our advocates has been Alan Grayson of the 8th District in Florida, a very strong voice against the TPP and Fast Track both. He has a couple of very good videos. One of them is fairly short. I can post that on my wall again, or post it on the event page so that everybody can see it. I may have done that already. This is beyond reason why any of our legislators would want to make themselves obsolete, because that's basically what they're doing. They are abrogating their responsibility. If they agree to Fast Track, they get 88 seconds to debate. Isn't that phenomenal? Who do they figure 88 seconds per person? It must be a total number of seconds divided by 535, and they each get their tiny little increment. As everyone else has mentioned, I won't go belabor it, how minimal the input for Congress will be. Basically, you can vote for it or not. Why would anyone ask the question? Find out why would they be willing to vote for it? Not just, are you going to vote for it, aren't you? Why would you vote for it? Give me a justification. And maybe if they hear themselves say, or one would hope that they would realize how anti-voter, how anti-citizen it is, and that it is only self-serving their interests. Maybe they're being promised to have their campaigns funded for the rest of the time they're in office to the fullest extent that they need. Maybe they're willing to sell themselves out, but we're not willing to be sold out. I don't think any of you are. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. The fact that they're even considering this is an insult. I cannot for the life of me fathom. I mean, everything we've worked on will go down the toilet, no matter what it is. Healthcare, the environment, you name it. We have been to the U.S. Trade Representative's office a number of times. I've been in protests where we've stood on the sidewalk outside of their building and not physically harmed anyone, but verbally challenged anyone entering there to say, do you know what the trade rep is willing to do with our future? And who are these people, these negotiators, that are willing to trade our future away and make us second-class citizens? We will be relegated to serf status. We will have no power. We will have no input. If you think your vote is tenuous now, try letting TPP, and then there's a host of them lined up after TPP. There's the Transatlantic Free Trade Agreement that has morphed and changed its name to make it sound like it's an investment project of some sort. This is atrocious. We have got to storm our legislators' office and say, we will not accept no for an answer. We are not going to stop until you vote against TPP and Fast Track. Bottom line, that's it. No compromise.
So, on that invitation for you to all stand firm, speak out loudly. There are some signs still over here. I don't know, we've been, some of us, including Diane and Ellery and yeah, I'm going to block your name right now. George, thank you. Have stood outside before trying to get people aware of this, and I hope that we will have another opportunity or two, but use the phones, use your email, use those petitions, make ourselves heard. I don't want corporate overlords, and that's what a tribunal sounds like. It's appointed by the corporations, and the corporations can sue national sovereign entities. You know, we're getting corporate overlords in this. So.
They're winning the suits too.
Yes, the two that come to mind to me are in Australia. Australia can't pass the kind of legislation we want for health on tobacco, and they are being sued to take that away. And Germany, after the Fukushima, decided it was going to divest itself of nuclear power, and the nuclear companies are now suing Germany. So we got to stop this. I don't know how we're going to stop it, but be in here, get inspired, go act, and we will win.
Thank you.